Story 1. You should be careful what you say in the room with the baby monitor. This is a story from a time when I was developing my assertiveness. It's an older one, but I'll share it for anyone who is working on finding their own voice. Consider it a motivational story, perhaps. I hope you enjoy it. I had recently had my first baby. While it doesn't feel like that long ago, my child is now over 10, so things have definitely changed. Back then, we didn't have fancy video baby monitors, breathing sensors, or any of the amazing high-tech gadgets that new parents have today. We had a simple audio baby monitor. The base unit was in the baby's room, and the receiver was in our bedroom or the living room, wherever we were. It was a good monitor. You could definitely hear everything happening in the baby's room. And that's where our story begins. My parents were visiting. I didn't know the terms, just know someone with difficult or toxic behavior at that time. I knew my biological father was abusive, hence the restraining orders. But my mother was so much better than him that I never thought to question her words. Until I became a mother myself. Then, everything changed. I had lost my first baby, and no one was going to do anything wrong when my son was born. His health and safety were my absolute priority. Anyway, my sometimes just no mom and my very just yes, wonderful, stepfather were visiting. My mother had some opinions about our parenting choices. Things had changed since the 1970s, but she mostly kept them to herself. Until my aunt called her. We were all in the living room, so my mother took her cell phone into the baby's room to sit in the rocking chair and chat. And, as we soon learned, to criticize my parenting. My husband and I sat in the living room and heard her making fun of me, criticizing my choices about everything, and saying I was overprotective. This went on for a good 20 minutes. Then she came back, completely oblivious to the fact that we'd heard the entire conversation. A lifetime of avoiding conflict kicked in, and I pretended nothing had happened. Later during the visit, she played with the baby, I fed him. My stepfather came back, probably from a trip to a home improvement store, and we were all in the living room when the baby had a major diaper blowout. My husband and I took the baby to his room to clean him up and deal with the mess. While we were in there, we were very aware that anything we said would be heard over the baby monitor in the living room. Both of my parents would hear everything. I can't remember the specifics of what we said, but I know it was in response to some suggestions my mother had made that were outdated or wouldn't work for us. We weren't mean or rude, just matter of fact about why her suggestions wouldn't work. When the baby was clean, we went back to the living room and were greeted with the biggest, most self-satisfied smirk on my mother's face. We sat down, and she said, "You should be careful what you say in the room with the baby monitor." And that's when my new mom assertiveness showed up. "Yes," I said. "We learned that when you were on the phone with Aunt." The smirk froze and then instantly turned to horror. It was horror because her daughter dared to talk back to her. Horror because she had been robbed of the gloating she was so certain she was about to enjoy, but mainly horror because she had been sitting there, stewing. In her mind, she had convinced herself that being overheard on the baby monitor was shameful. She believed that anyone overheard saying anything unflattering deserved to be embarrassed and ashamed. So, having been caught doing that very thing, she had to be embarrassed and ashamed. And it was glorious. My stepfather chuckled, and they left shortly after. The end. Comment 1. LOL, this reminds me of when my ML was visiting, and, while Ella was napping in his room, 5 weeks old at the time, she decided she wanted to check on him. Sure, whatever. But I do have a video baby monitor with two-way sound. LO is 8MO now, so I'm lucky to have all these fancy things. I had the screen remote thing in my hand, as I usually do when I'm not in the room with him. I look down, and this woman is trying to reach into the crib and pick him up. She had this thing where she always wanted LO to be awake for some reason, and I turned on the microphone on my control thing and said, "Leave him alone." She just about jumped out of her skin. She was not happy that I was able to watch what she was doing. Comment 2. Oh, but how dare you wiretap your dear saintly all-knowing mommy. Yeah, the mindset of these lug nuts is shocking. Comment 3. It's 5 a.m. here in the UK, and I opened Reddit over my first cup of tea. I wasn't sure how the story would end, and I really felt for you listening to Emil spew to Ant whilst you sat there. Oh, but wait, it gets so much better. You reflected your behavior to reflect exactly what Emil had been doing. Petty, perfect, and a pleasing performance. Superb start to the day. Thank you for sharing. Story 2. We cut off toxic ML/grandma. Hey everyone. I posted last week about wanting to end Grandma Thursdays after my ML insulted both me and my mom. Well, after my husband told her that we're taking a break from these visits to avoid toxicity, she completely lost it. She sent us 3 messages full of accusations, lies, and hateful comments aimed at me. My husband is finally seeing her true colors for what they are. She accused me of turning him against his entire family, telling him to wake up and stop being blinded by me. She even went as far as insulting my extended family back in my home country, who had graciously hosted her at our wedding 13 years ago. She claimed I looked down on her because I have a degree and she doesn't. Complete lies, of course. Essentially, she projected all her insecurities onto me and dug up the most ridiculous accusations, which was truly shocking. She left no stone unturned, crossing so many lines that I can't see how things could ever go back to normal. Throughout her messages, there were also these weird, "I want to fix things, but" comments, along with aggressive demands to meet face to face, even though I made it clear weeks ago that we wouldn't meet her if she kept being hostile. We decided to ignore her last message and have agreed on a full cutoff from her. Now, it turns out she's been telling everyone, like my sisters-in-law, her version of events, and it seems like she's been talking badly about me for years. It finally explains why some of her side of the family has been a bit cold toward me. I'm still processing everything, and honestly, it hurts so much. I haven't been sleeping well at all, and it's a struggle. But I keep reminding myself that it's a positive step for us, that by cutting ties, we're freeing our family from a toxic relationship. And in the end, that does bring me some peace. Thank you all so much for your support and advice. It's helped me more than you know. Comment 1. And she did it all in writing. Think of how many people you can show that to. Comment 2. Don't forget to inform the school that she is not allowed to pick them up anymore. Story 3. Still have hatred towards Emil who ruined my birth and postpartum. Backstory *, my son is 15 months old, and recently I've come to realize how enmeshed my husband, the golden boy, oldest child, is with his mother. We're both in individual therapy and couples counseling to work through it, but things are still really tense. During my birth and postpartum period, my ML completely ignored our wishes and boundaries. She invited 5 people into my room when I specifically asked for privacy and time alone. The whole experience felt like it was all about her, not about me or the baby. She pushed for me to pump so she could do the feeding, constantly bombarded me with texts asking about the baby, and demanded one-on-one time with him. She also wanted me to attend family events just days after giving birth. Whenever we shared any medical concerns about myself or the baby, she made sure to tell everyone. It felt like she completely stopped seeing me as a person after I gave birth, and I noticed in our holiday photos that I was always standing off to the side, never holding my son. It was like I wasn't even part of the family anymore. She constantly undermines me as a mom, offering unwanted advice and passing judgment. If we don't follow her suggestions, she guilts me, triangulates, gaslights, and plays the victim. If we don't listen to her, she throws tantrums, but only pretends to be nice when my husband is around. I've stopped talking to her, but the resentment still lingers. It's hard to move on from everything she's done. Comment 1. Your mother should not be asking her 16-year-old child for money, and how are you able to give your mother money if you don't have a job? Hide whatever money you do have and save up so you can get out of her house ASAP. Stay strong. You'll get free. Comment 2. Parents sometimes inadvertently want a child to need and stay with them for life. Instead of having the insight to recognize that they are aging and don't want to be alone, they sabotage one. Is evident as she gives you things, but does not like when you earn them or become skillful. Comment 3. Do not respect her if she disrespects you. Comment 4. Don't do a thing. Drop the rope. Don't answer her phone calls. Don't respond to texts, and for goodness sake, don't give her any more health updates or any private information of any kind. Tell your husband to stop giving her any information. Comment 5. OP, she is not the boss of you. Neither is your husband. You are a grown-up mother of a 15-month-old. You do what you want, based on information from your pediatrician. If you want to block her, block her. If you do not want to go to a family event, don't go. You are the mom, she is not. If she has a tantrum, treat her like you would a toddler, maybe put her in timeout. You don't need to feel belittled, disrespected, or irrelevant. Your life, your baby, your rules. If she doesn't like it, oh well, there is not a thing she can do about it. You are strong. Good luck. Comment 6. It is not your job to manage your MIL. If husband wants her in your lives, then it's up to him to manage 100% of the relationship. Don't answer her calls or messages. If she chucks a tantrum, not your problem. She is not your responsibility. Focus on your baby. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.